Today on Drawbli.
Ben is drawing witches.
Hey, I'm Ben.
And I'm Abby.
And we're drawing together because art is better with friends.
So click the subscribe button if you're new around here.
And check out our brand new brush pack.
Woo!
Ooh, fancy. At the link below in the description.
Wow, brand new brush pack. Check it out.
So these are a couple witches that I've been drawing lately. I think you also have a witch that you're working on. It might be from one of the same references that I used here. We'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we got some new brushes. I created these brushes and have been working on these brushes for a very long time, trying to get them into a good spot. And the theming of the brush pack is a spell book.
Yes.
So what better to draw than some witches?
Absolutely. I've used these brushes now also to draw some witches. And
Speaking of which, I need to send you the updated version of the brush pack.
Oh, yes, please.
There's an updated version. Much better, much more refined.
I'm working with the beta set, huh?
You're more with the alpha set.
Oh,
at
gosh.
this point. No, it hasn't been a huge step up. But yeah, I'd say you were beta set. Now I need
here's this must be one of the pencils in the set.
Yes.
Can you tell me about this pencil?
This is my personal favorite. Maybe just brush in general from the set. It's the Hex pencil. I call it the Hex pencil. This is probably the brush that I use the most in the entire set. It is a pencil brush that has a really nice organic kind of haphazard texture to it. I think something that I really want to capture in digital art in Procreate is the organic, almost messy nature that comes from traditional art that is really hard to capture in digital art because there's a lot of exactness in digital art and digital brushes, especially in pencils, in line brushes. So I wanted to create a pencil that got away from that and had all this texture in it and kind of maybe had some mistakes in it occasionally whenever you're making a line. I've actually refined it from where it is here, so it's a little different and less bug-eyed than this person looks here. But yeah, I enjoy this brush a lot. I use it all the time.
That's awesome. In whatever alpha set of the brushes that I have, I too gravitate towards the pencil that you have in there. You actually have two pencils.
Yes.
There's the Cantrip
Yep.
and the other one, and I like both of them. I think they're both excellent.
Yes, the Cantrip pencil is a little more cleanly. But yeah, there's a lot of really fun brushes in there.
Oh yeah, I have several now that I use pretty regularly that I really enjoy. They're wonderful for adding texture and interest, especially to my background work. I'm finding I'm able to expand a lot more in terms of scene building because I know where to go. Like before, I felt so aimless when it came to trying to do backgrounds. It's like, I don't know, maybe this brush, maybe that shape. But now, I don't know, your brush set really speaks to me when it comes to like building up a background, so.
Are there any other brushes that come to mind that you enjoy using? I know you said some of the texture brushes. There's the Entangle brush.
I was just using that today.
All the brushes are named after like some kind of spell or...
Prestidigitation.
Yes, there's quite a few
I like
in
that
there.
one.
Yeah, there's
Yes.
pyromancy.
Alchemy.
Yeah, there's some really good ones in there.
Yes. I like them a lot. The names are so fun. So fun.
Yeah. You know, I spent a long time working on just the names of the brushes. In my opinion, that's the most
That's
important
half
part.
the battle, really.
No, that's not true. Each brush took me quite a long time to like figure out what I wanted it to do and then play with it. I actually recently, and I wish I would have found this video way before I started creating these brushes, but I found this great video of this woman talking about, and I'll go into my YouTube history, find out who it was, and link it down below. But she was talking about her process for creating brushes, and she was like, typically, you know, I'll start with an idea, and then I'll go in and do this, and then I'll just, keep refining it until she had like a lot of really good tips in
That's
there.
awesome.
And I was like, man, I wish I would have watched this like 6 months ago. But yeah, she was awesome. Some good stuff in there.
That's great. Years ago, I read the entire Procreate manual on brush creation.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, because it tell you a lot about like the sliders and like what different parts of a brush there are.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
did not go on to create many brushes. I think I messed around with creating a couple for fun, but it really told me a lot about the brushes in Procreate in general. It was very informative. I kind of like to do those kind of deep dives though occasionally. Do you ever do like a Wikipedia deep dive where next thing you know, you're hours into learning about just this one isolated chemical?
Only for things I care about.
So I find that I care about things briefly, intensely, and then...
So like I have gone through the entire whatever you said, manual or whatever for Procreate as well.
Yeah.
I've watched every video on the Procreate YouTube channel. I've gone through the documentation. I've done that for ZBrush as well a long time ago. Like I know every nook and cranny of the software.
Yeah.
But like I said in a previous video, the software isn't even half the battle. Like it is 1% of the battle. The rest is just like making good art, painting, drawing,
Right.
etc.
Right, I agree.
So once you get over the software hurdle, you get to go on to the fun stuff.
The creating of art.
The creating of art.
I love this witch I love both these witches, but the witch on the left really reminds me of Lizzie Bennet from a later scene in Pride and Prejudice. I'm shamelessly a big fan of Pride and Prejudice, having read it, multiple times since I was young, having watched the 6-hour BBC version a few times in my life, and just the way you've drawn her looks so much like Lizzie Bennet coming across the pasture or in the rain, and Mr. Darcy's coming over the hill, and he's covered in water too, and it's very romantic, and I love it.
I was going for a romantic witch. I'm so glad you noticed. And I'm so glad you brought up the differences between the two, because now's a perfect time to mention. I would love for everybody in the comments below to vote on which one of these, which witch I should continue to work on further. I'll, give it some time, wait until we get to the end of the video so you can see where each one is, because they're still both in a pretty rough, kind of sketchy area by the time we get done, or by the time I got done with both of these. So I do plan on working on one of them more, but I wasn't sure which one, so I wanted to let the Drawbli audience vote.
I love your use of the brush Magic Missile in the witch on the right that you've just added.
Yeah, I think it's really fun for hair.
It is. It adds such like a cool element.
A very graphic 2D element. I think it's easy to go overboard with that kind of stuff a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And I think just kind of using it sparingly is a good idea, which is why I knocked back and erased quite a bit of what I added, because I thought I went a little too heavy-handed.
But like you've sometimes said, that's sometimes how you really get into a style. You push it till it breaks, and then you dial it back a little bit.
Yes, you've clearly watched a Polygon video or two.
Yes, some in my time.
Or maybe lived with him for a bit.
Yeah, I think I know a fair amount about probably like not so much sculpting in general, but about like the process of becoming an artist and proficient at art and stylization, from what you've just said in passing to me many times.
Oh yeah? Yeah, you think you could become a stylized digital sculptor?
No, I'm more of a theoretical professor of the arts.
You're like the dad that's watching football on TV and he's like, I could do better.
No, I'm just like a theoretical physicist as opposed to
I theoretically could
one
do
in a
better.
lab. These things exist. These theoretical minds. They are very valued in society. I think they make lots of money.
Well, theoretically, if you had a preference, Abby, between either of these witches, which witch would you like me to work on more?
Well, I like the witch on the left. She's connected with nature, and
Abby
she
love
looks
of
like
nature.
Lizzie Bennett. Oh, we'll have to tell people about our nature walk that we went on.
My skin is burning.
We'll I think we're almost done with this video. We'll have to talk about it later.
Yeah, my skin
I
doesn't feel
meant
good.
so
I was actually
well.
going to ask you for maybe an antihistamine. Or
Oh
something.
no! Tune in next time to hear about what that went so wrong.
I think we got enough time to mention. Very
Okay,
quickly.
I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna start talking about it.
Yeah, well, you're right. You're right.
I have a lot to say.
Oh, do you? Okay. Well, if I had to vote, which one I think if I had to pick between one of these to work on more, I might pick the one on the left, just because I feel like the one on the right got away from me, and I was not having an awesome time. I think
It looks so cool though, and I feel like you probably could bring it back. You really could. I think it has a lot of elements vying for attention in terms of increased texture and busyness. And if you pick two to say these two get to keep their texture and busyness and the rest has to go simple, I think you're set. The hair is incredible. Keep the hair.
Thank you. Yeah, I also really struggled with the book and the hands. I drew that box there. I don't know if you can keep seeing that box popping up every once in a while to measure out the width of the book to make sure that it was like in perspective correctly. So I had to keep going back and changing it and making corrections. But eventually I got there, and then I was like, crap, I gotta do hands now.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
All right, Abby, left or right?
Oh man.
I voted left.
I kind of like the right now, actually. The right's really speaking to me. The pink, the texture. I think I'm leaning towards the right.
Okay, well, we're 50-50 here, so comments are going to have to vote as well, and we'll have to go from there. And if you want to go from there, click that like and subscribe button.
And check out the new Drawbli Brush Pack spell book at the link below in the description.
And this is the part where we say...
Goodbye.
Goomba. Abby, if you were going to be able to cast any spell, what spell would it be?
Prestidigitation, just because I can't say it. And so it'd be funny to see how it comes out every time. What would you cast?
Abracadabra, alakazam.
Oh yeah, that's really
Of
good.
course,
That's really
of
good.
course.
Uh-huh.